Hello students, welcome to the online lecture series of the SDSM College Palghar. I am Vilaswar and today we are going to discuss chapter plant nutrition. So let's start. In this chapter we are learn about our rest of the part like integrated nutrient management INM, manures and fertilizers, classification of manure and fertilizers, brief study of manure and fertilizers, and lastly we discuss about a method of fertilizer applications. Let's talk about integrated nutrient management. Integrated nutrient management is a scheme that refers to the safety way to dispose of crop residues and produce high quality compost by a balanced and integrated use of both sources of fertilizers together in the combination of organic and inorganic fertilizers for maintaining soil fertility and providing plant with a high nutrient supply. Why is a nutrient management necessary? It's a nutrient management planning help contamination to waterways by the plant nutrients. Without proper management, nutrients can dissolve in soil water and go into surface or groundwater through leaching or the runoff. Some advantages we'll see for the integrated nutrient management like enhance the availability of applied as well as the native soil nutrients, synchronizing the nutrient demand with the native supply from the native and applied sources. It provides balanced nutrient to the crops. It improves the and sustain the physical, chemical and biological functioning of soils. It minimizes the deterioration of a soil water in ecosystem by promoting the carbon sequestration, and it reduces nutrients losses to the ground surface water. In this method, the application of the chemical fertilizers along with the organic resources materials like organic manure, green manure, biofertilizers and other decomposable material for the crop productions. And INM, it is the basic concept and for the adjustment of a plant nutrient supply for the optimum level of the sustaining crop productivity. Here are some important factors are increasing the availability of a nutrient in the soil. Let's see. First, the physical condition of a soil. The availability of nutrient demand on the physical condition of a soil such as a good structure and aeration. Second, soil moisture. Plants absorb nutrients from the soil in the form of solution and in which it requires sufficient moisture in the soil. Third, soil pH. The nutrient remains generally available in the soil at a neutral pH like 6.0 to 7. Fourth, manures and the nutrient management. Manures provides organic nutrient and the moisture in the soil. It also provides the physical, chemical and biological properties of soils. Fifth, fertilizers and nutrient management. In the fertilizers are acidic and the basic in nature. The application of fertilizers constantly making the soil acidic or alkaline according to the nature of a fertilizer used, and the fertilizer should be applied on the basis of a soil analysis. Lastly, sixth, biofertilizers and nutrient management. Biofertilizers are the culture of a microorganisms capable of mixing or solubilizing the nutrient. Let's talk about the manure and fertilizers. Manure is organic matter used as a fertilizers in agriculture farms. Manure improves the fertility of a soil by adding organic matter and lots of the nutrients such as nitrogen that is trapped by the bacteria in the soil. There are different type of manure are used for a better cultivation, like green manure, farmyard manure, it is FYM, compost manure. Here are some pictures in front of you of green manure, vermicompost, then cow dung. So these are actually a good source of organic fertilizers. It used. Let's talk about the fertilizers. Fertilizer generally a inorganic substance adding in the soil to supply a certain elements essential for the crop growth. They contain large amount of nutrient as per unit weight, and it is in definite composition of a urea, SSP, it is a single super phosphate, muriate of potash. So these are generally the chemical fertilizers. Let's see the biofertilizers. These are the substances which are contain a living microorganism bacteria. So when applied to the seed, plant surface or the soil colonized in the rhizosphere, the interior of a plant and it promotes the growth of the increasing rate of supply or availability of the primary nutrients to the host plant. So generally the biofertilizers or the living organism are used for the good nitrogen fixation or the good growth of plant. It is a rhizobium, azotobacter, BGA, it is a blue green algae, etc. Let's talk about the brief study of manure and fertilizers. Start with the bulky organic manure. In that we'll see the farmyard manure, it is a FIM. The FIM, it is composed of a mixture of the solid and liquid excreta of a farm's animals along with the litter. So it can be cow dung, urine. So these are the leftover material, and some other material like a fodder feed for the cattle are used. So in that we will use the cattle manure, sheep penning, poultry manures. So these are the good organic source for the soil. Next is compost. Compost, it is a bulky organic manure obtained from the decomposition of organic waste, and it helps the action of microorganisms. So generally in rural area, the rural compost, it is made up with the farm waste and house garbages, then urban compost. So these are the town waste, and these are mixture of generally all the type of garbages. Next is vermicompost. It is a product of a decomposition process by using the various species of worms, usually the red weevils, white worms, and other earthworm species, to create the mixture of the decomposing vegetable or the food waste, and it creates the good manure. Vermicompost is a good beneficial to the soil. It improves the soil aeration. It enriches the soil and with the microorganisms. Microbial activity in the worm, it casting the 10 to 20 times of higher than the soil organic matter. It attracts the deep burrowing earthworm already which are present in the soil, and it improves the water holding capacity. Next is sewage and sludges. Sewage is a liquid containing the waste, while the sludge is the solid waste collecting from the treatment of the water waste of a water treatment plant. It is a generic term of a solid separated from a suspension of a liquid. The green manures. Green manuring can be defined as the growth of crop for the specific purpose of incorporating it in for the soil, while the green or the plants which are helping to improve the soil and it is benefiting subsequent crop growth. Green manuring, the in situ and the green leaf manuring are used, and these are the types of green manuring. In the green manuring in situ, the green manure crops are grown in situ or in lab or in a specific area, while the pure crop as the intercrop with the main crop, and it is buried in the same field at the flowering stage. And for example, the sunhep, diagnia, cowpea, the cluster beans, generally these plants are used for in situ green manuring, where the green leaf manures are used where the green leaves and the tender green twigs are collected from the shrubs or trees and are buried in the bunds or wasteland nearby the forest area. Example, it is a Gliricea. Let's see the concentrated organic manures. In that, here they are using the plant origin parts like oil cakes, edible oils, non-edible oil cakes. So these can be helpful for maintaining the organic manure. The oil cakes are generally the residue left over after the oil extraction of a bearing of seeds, and the edible oil cakes are generally feed of the cattles. These are in the powdered form, so these are actually liberating the nutrients for the better decomposition of oil cakes. So these oil cakes are left over for the 2 to 3 months, and they are used as a manures. Generally the coconut cakes, mustard cakes, groundnut cakes, sunflower cakes, sesame seeds cake are used for organic manures generally. Sometimes the animal origin like a waste product of the slaughterhouse, blood meals, bone meals and fish meal also are used for the concentrated organic manures are the best source. The application of the chemical fertilizers can increase the crop yields quickly, but they can also cause the soil hardening, decrease the soil organic matters and pH after the long period of application, so that results in the loss of soil productivity. So the lesser use of the chemical fertilizers are helpful for farmers. So chemical fertilizers are generally the urea, single superphosphate, muriate of potash, then sulfur, monoammonium phosphate, diammonium phosphate, like a compound complex fertilizers, and mixed for fertilizers like NPK, nitrogen, potash and phosphate are used in the various ratios. So these chemicals can increase the growth of crops very effective way. Let's see the biofertilizers. These are the substance that contains the microorganism, the living or the latent cells. The biofertilizers increases the nutrients of host plant when the applied to the seeds plant and the surface of the soil by colonizing the rhizosphere of a plant. The biofertilizers are most cost effective as compared to the chemical fertilizer. That means it cannot harm to the soil. It increases the productivity. In the biofertilizers, nitrogen fixing biofertilizers like rhizobium, azotobacter, azospirillum, these are used in the abundant way because the nitrogen, it is a very important element for the growth. Then phosphate mobilizing biofertilizers are used. Some decomposers like FIM and in situ decomposition of the organic residue are used in field area. Let's see the methods of fertilizer applications. Various methods are used for the fertilizing, which are the costlier and inputs in the agricultural field area. They need to be applied at the proper time and also the correct method to get the maximum benefits from it. So the objective of the fertilizer application may not fulfill, but the fertilizers are generally applied in following terms. There are various methods are used like broadcasting, drilling, placement or spot application, and pellet application. Let's see the broadcasting. Broadcasting, it is a even and uniform spreading of the manure or the fertilizer by handover at the entire surface, while the cultivation or the after sowing in the stand crop. Depending upon the type of fertilizer applied, there are two types of broadcasting. First is the broadcasting at the planting or sowing area, whereas the concentrated organic manures, potassic fertilizers, citric soluble, phosphatic fertilizers are applied. Second, it is a top dressing. In that broadcasting, the fertilizers are standing and the crop known as a top dressing. The care should be taken at the time of the applying. Generally, the urea, ammonium nitrate it is used. In drilling type of application, the granules fertilizers are applied. The seed cum fertilizer drilled at the sowing time. The phosphatic and the potassic fertilizers are applied in the cereal or the cotton plants. Next is placement or spot application. It is generally used at the hilly area or the raw area. The roots of the young plant can get nutrient directly where they required. So this is a very effective way to apply a fertilizer. So there are the three various way or various methods are used: ring circle method and band method and raw placement method are used. In the ring method, the fertilizer are applied by making the circle or ring around the plant by a sickle or covering the sand by hand. Second, the band method, the fertilizers are placed at the band or the hilly or hill near area of a plant around a 3 to 5 centimeter away and the soil are covered. Next is the raw placement method. The fertilizers are placed one or both the side of a rows by hand. Example, potato plant and sugar plant. Next, it is a pellet application. In that method, the placement of the nitrogenous fertilizers in the form of pellets or tablet form, it is almost 2.5 to 5 centimeter deep near the rows where the sowed area. Generally, the paddy crops are covered here. So in the mixture or the ratio of a 1:10, the pellets are mixed with the soil and they are applied the crops as stands. Let's see the application of the biofertilizers. The seed inoculation method is used, whereas the biofertilizer mixed with the wheat flour at the suitable amount of water and then seeds are dipped in it. These are treated with the applied portion of the sowing area at amount 30 minutes before the shade area. Almost 20 kilogram seeds are used in 20 gram of biofertilizers and the 250 grams of wheat flour are used. Next, it is a root inoculation method. The biofertilizers mixed with water and the roots are dipped in it. The solution are prepared for 120 minutes before the transplanting. The portion it is used is 200 grams biofertilizers in the 5 to 6 liter of the water. It is a ratio. Next is the soil application. The biofertilizers are mixed with the compost and the soil mixture and they are spread in the field area where the crops are grown. Almost 5 kilograms biofertilizers per hectare feed. It is mixed with the 25 kilograms of compost and 50 kilograms of soil are mixed, and they are spreading according to the required area. Let's see the benefits of biofertilizers. Biofertilizers are very much effective and they are beneficial all the ways. So first, it is increase the yield of the crop by the supplying nitrogen in the soil directly. It also improves the soil condition and the health of soil by the microorganisms. The environment cannot be polluted in any way, that means no pollution. So biofertilizers are considered as a eco-friendly use of fertilizers. They saves the crop primarily from the seed, soil, and the waterborne diseases also. It also helps in the turning of the fixed phosphorus to the soluble form of any increase of yield in the crops at about 10 to 30%. Lastly, they increases the rate of decomposition of the composting process. These are the all very much effective benefits which are given by the biofertilizers. I hope you have understood the today's related topics we have covered. So if you have any query or doubts, you can comment in the group of our CP groups. So